Good morning, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, morning headlines on April 18, 2023. Pope Francis attacks insinuations that John Paul II prowled for underage girls. The Guardian, missing Vatican girl, Pope slams insinuations against John Paul II as baseless. Euronews, Pope condemns insinuations against John Paul II in 1983 disappearance of teenage girl. PBS NewsHour, Pope Francis calls insinuations against John Paul II unfounded. Reuters, Emanuela Orlandi, Pope slams claims against John Paul II as baseless. Simon case, top civil servant among officials named in discrimination claim. Jeremy Bowen, Israel's unclear road ahead. Jayland Walker, 8 police officers who shot unarmed man 46 times cleared of wrongdoing. Sky News, Jayland Walker, no charges for officers in fatal Ohio arrest. BBC, left with more questions than answers, Jayland Walker's family attorneys to file civil lawsuit. News 5 Cleveland WEWS, Ohio cops will not be indicted over Jayland Walker's death. DeSantis floats idea of state prison near Disney Park. BBC, Ron DeSantis threatens to build prison next to Disney World as he continues vendetta against company. The Independent, DeSantis' third strike against Disney shows what a powerful man with thin skin can do. Opinion. Miami Herald, DeSantis escalates battle with Disney in new legislative push. Russia-Ukraine war live, Putin attends military command meeting in Kherson. US blasts Brazil's Lula over Ukraine comments. Protesters shout at Jim Jordan outside of House hearing in New York City on Alvin Bragg. The Independent, Mayor Adams slams GOP's political stunt against Manhattan DA Bragg. MSNBC, Republicans bring tough on crime show to Manhattan doorstep. Financial Times, Judiciary Committee versus Bragg, the curtain goes up. The New York Times, Trump's House GOP allies take fight to Manhattan turf. Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, the feared ex-warlord taking on Sudan's army. The Guardian, Sudan crisis, Burhan and Hemedti, the two generals at the heart of the conflict. BBC, Sudan conflict, Hemedti, the warlord who built a paramilitary force more powerful than the state. The Conversation, analysis, Sudan conflict, Hemedti, who built a paramilitary force more powerful than state. News 24, Sudan's Daglo, feared Darfuri general fighting for power. Dozens of states criticize Russia for media crackdown after reporter arrest. Ukraine war, US accuses Lula of parroting propaganda. BBC, war in Ukraine, Brazil's Lula calls for peace group to broker peace deal, France 24 English. France 24 English, Lula calls for peace group to broker Ukraine-Russia deal. EURACTIV, US says Brazil parroting Russian and Chinese propaganda on Ukraine war. NDTV, Russia's Lavrov meets Lula as Brazil, US trade barbs on Ukraine war. Silvio Berlusconi leaves intensive care after treatment for lung infection. The Guardian, Italy's Silvio Berlusconi moved from intensive care following treatment for lung infection. Sky News, Silvio Berlusconi out of intensive care. Politico Europe, Berlusconi's treatment for infection continues in hospital. The Independent, Berlusconi transferred from ICU to regular ward, family says. Sudan fighting, Blinken says US diplomatic convoy fired upon. BBC, Sudan fighting, EU ambassador assaulted in Khartoum home. BBC, EU ambassador assaulted in Sudan amid internal violence. Politico Europe, EU ambassador to Sudan assaulted in own home amid fighting. Evening Standard, EU ambassador to Sudan, attacked, amid violence. At least 200 dead, top updates. Fox Dominion lawsuit, live, settlement rumors loom over start of trial after abrupt delay. The Independent, it avoids a public grilling, why Murdoch could settle Dominion's Fox News lawsuit. The Guardian, Fox defamation trial delayed amid settlement talks. BBC, analysis, the high stakes of Dominion versus Fox. Opposition party leader is latest critic of Tunisian president to be arrested. Dadeville, Alabama, left without answers after deadly mass shooting. BBC, Alabama shooting, girl survives being shot 3 times at 16th birthday party, BBC News. BBC News, Dadeville shooting victim attends vigil in hospital gown. The Independent, Alabama shooting, Phil Dowdell died saving sister's life. BBC, students killed in Alabama shooting had bright futures ahead of them, says pastor, as it happens with Nil Coxall, Chris Howden, live radio. Indian couple reportedly behead themselves in apparent sacrificial ritual with homemade guillotine. Sky News, couple decapitate themselves with makeshift guillotine to offer heads as sacrifice. Daily Record, Rajkot, couple behead selves using guillotine-like device, decapitated bodies found by minor kids. Times of India, Gujarat, Rajkot couple behead selves using guillotine-like device. Times of India, couple beheaded themselves with homemade guillotine in ritual sacrifice, police in India say. West prepares for Putin to use whatever tools he's got left in Ukraine. The Guardian, nuclear fuel alliance formed by UK, US, Canada, Japan and France. The Independent, West approves deal to stop buying Putin's nuclear fuel. The Times, G7 ministers stress unity amid tensions with China and Russia. Reuters, nuclear powers pledge to push Putin out of uranium markets. Sudan's army chief says climate for intervention by African leaders not suitable as millions remain trapped. Sky News, explosions and fire at Khartoum airport as fighting continues in Sudan. Guardian News, Gravitas, Sudan's deadly clashes continue for third day. WION, there is much danger in the Sudan crisis but also an opportunity. Al Jazeera English, Sudan's tragedy, on the power struggle between 2 generals. Ralph Yarl shooting, update, mugshot of suspect Andrew Lester shared as police say, racial component, to case. The Independent, Ralph Yarl, black teen shot at doorstep after ringing wrong doorbell. BBC, Ralph Yarl, man charged with shooting boy who knocked wrong door. BBC, the world's eyes are on Kansas City. Police can't get the Ralph Yarl shooting wrong, opinion. Kansas City star, Ralph Yarl, a 16-year-old bass clarinetist, fights for his life in hospital after shooting in America. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.